See, that's a different matter. There 3%, 4% is the population who are confined to agriculture. Now, you put a very relevant question. Why the farmers are going to sell for distress sale? During harvest, the farmers are forced to go to the market because they have no storage, they have no facilities, and they can't, some of the items what they grow is perishable items like onion, potato, so flowers, all these things as horticultural produce or the some of the agricultural produce itself, they have no proper facilities for the storage.
But I thought when
So
you
are
were Prime
exact.
Minister,
You
had started.
Yes, yes, yes.
Also floriculture in Karnataka.
Yeah, I have started floriculture in Karnataka.
Yeah. Yeah, floriculture question? Huh? See, when you were Chief Minister of Karnataka, you had really taken some steps to promote floriculture in the state. And I believe at first we were also exporting quite well to Europe. But now I understand that the problem is with airlifting, with cooling facilities, and we have not been able to maintain that.
Unfortunately, this is where things have gone wrong. The very object of my taking the decision to encourage the exports of horticultural products or the fruit products or the other items where we are giving more the importance for to produce more in Karnataka. At that time I took that stand. In fact, our whole object was to see that we should compete with the market outside the country. That's my main object. In fact, we provided an auction platform for bringing all these items to the platform where the bidders should go. Public auction, there is no question of any hanky-panky, and the farmers should get their reasonable price. All these things we have done. But unfortunately, there are various other problems cropped up. As you rightly put it, we have to see that the cargo should come every day and go and pick up this thing. Fresh items should go to the international market, so we should compete. So subsequently so many things has happened. Unfortunately, I am not going to blame X or Y, Z, because the international the airport is still lingering on account of various other problems created by those people who have come forward to take up that project. And the state and the center also has not cleared some of the projects which I have proposed. So these are certain issues where my dream of the encouraging the floriculture and the horticulture products to go out of the country to fight, face the international market was little bit slackened. I can say that much.
But similarly, food processing. If you mentioned that a lot of this produce is perishable, and in fact it is wasted because it doesn't reach the consumer. So why is it that we are not pressing for, let us say, de-reservation in making mustard oil or groundnut oil, where what is happening is that you have this production, but you are not able to process it.
See, that is where things gone wrong. Where things gone wrong.
But those are not the things that you are demanding.
This country, madam, I would like to make it very clear. If we have given sufficient the importance to agriculture, this country could have been fed the entire world.
But then my question to you is, why are you not asking for easing the restrictions for food processing, for trying to reach out world markets, remove export controls? Why do we only hear about subsidies?
See, several vested interests at the Government of India level works in this country, I know as Prime Minister. To allow some of the products to go out of this country, the exporters will play a very major role.
Yes.
I am not going to make any sweeping remarks against the exporters. I know how things are going to happen in this country. They play with the Government of India, and so many forces will play. Leave apart that issue. See, Indian farmers are prepared to face the challenge in a competitive world. I have no hesitation to say this, but how? We must provide all infrastructural facilities like storages, roads, and even to shift their produce at a proper time to the market, the variations will be there. Properly, it should be brought to the knowledge of these farmers when they should export, how long they have to kept their products in the cold storage without spoiling their produce. See, these are all the things where the government has to play a vital role. So even in the private sector also they should encourage. They should encourage, and the government, we don't want any subsidy, provided if you provide all these facilities. The farmers are not the beggars. I must be very plain and frank, they are not the beggars. They are prepared to give all reasonable taxes. I would like to just ask only one question to those people who are now arguing in favor of reduction of subsidy. It is they will try to brand it as vote catching subsidy. They have no knowledge. Go to any cities, how many sky high buildings are there? Go to any village, how many huts are there? How many farmers have got at least 2 pairs of cloths? They talk of only those affluent farmers who represent hardly about 5% of the total agricultural community.
But
So why should they talk like this?
You made a very valid point that you open the markets, you provide the infrastructures, and the farmers can take care of themselves. They are not beggars. I agree with you. But then would you say that in the WTO, when our government goes to negotiate, we should really fight for opening the markets, asking for more markets for India, get the Europeans to become less protective so that we can enter their markets?
There is no problem by the WTO. If you try to rise up to the occasion, the government of India take all necessary protective measures, there is no problem within the ambit of this WTO itself. We can do several measures which is going to strengthen Indian farming community. There is no problem. I would like to just draw your kind attention not to criticize X or Y or Z. See, onion price went up to 11 rupees. Why they have banned the exports? Yes, you are very much interested about the consumers. At whose cost? Then who has to pay for the cost of production? You argue remove subsidy, okay. He don't want any subsidy. I will accept that argument. But when it comes to 11 rupees, you put a ban and make him to suffer. You argue we are interested in consumers, okay. If you want to safeguard the interest of the consumers, unless your product is there, then if you want to kill that farmer, then you have to depend on the developed countries every year with a begging bowl. Do you want to create such an atmosphere?
You take the case of edible oils. Now, we blame it on the WTO, but the truth is when the imports came, the government could have reacted fast in putting tariff.
First of all, removal of quantitative restriction without at least studying the implication 2 years in advance is a mistake. It's a mistake. All right, if they have done it with what the background, I don't want to now spell out. It will again political controls. But after they removed the quantitative restriction, there are several measures. You can go up to 300%.
That's right.
Why not? Who has been now prevailing on the government? Can they not protect these farmers? They are struggling like anything. So all these things, again, there must be a commitment. The Prime Minister, I must be very plain and frank, the Prime Minister, what the interest is giving towards the industrial sector, he is not giving the same interest to the farming sector. It is not an allegation, it is true facts.
Let me come back to an initiative that you took or you were in the process of taking when you were in Karnataka, and this is on the opening of the lease market for land. When there were all these worries about contract farming, if you want to produce a certain kind of potato which can be processed and all, and you can't do land reform overnight, can you start a lease market for land? Now what has happened to that?
No, I have not taken the decision to changing the Land Reforms Act, which was brought by Mr. Devaraj Aras. I was the leader of the opposition at that time. I must give a little background about the land reforms which we have implemented with all seriousness in Karnataka. We have not allowed the absentee landlords. I will tell you very plainly. During my regime, when I went back from the parliament to Karnataka as chief minister, see, some of the areas where we have to make certain provisions by bringing necessary amendment for providing infrastructure and other facilities to the farmers. See, how do you create what we call the farmers to have the benefit of the modern technology? I went to Israel. I studied some of the agricultural, the modern technology where they have adopted, and the production has gone high, productivity has gone high with modern technology, modern science. I observed that and I came back to Karnataka, my home state at that time. What I did was, there are about 400 the farms maintained by agricultural department and horticulture department. I said, why do you want it? You want to have it as demonstration plots, but you are not doing anything, you have no money. So we will hand over those plots, not the farmer's land. It is the property of the state government, whether it is horticulture department or the agriculture department. They are demonstration plots. Since from independence, all those plots were there without making any efforts to give the knowledge of modern technology, modern science, adopting the modern science and technology to fast develop our agriculture. That's why I took a decision to hand over those plots to some of the private sector, the people who are prepared to invest to adopt this modern technology and modern science, all this irrigation utilization, the cropping pattern, and when we manufacture, they produce the seeds, the drought-prone resistant seeds, all these things are various things I do not want to elaborate. So with all this background, I took the decision to lease some of those farms which were incurring loss every year to the private sector on lease basis, perpetual lease for some year, 50 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And after their production, after they fully developed those the plots with modern technology, that will go a long way to improve the agricultural the system in our country. With that background, I took that decision, not by amending the laws, by again giving a go-by to the Land Reforms Act. It's not like that.
I must also ask you that you were very active in that debate on seeds when there was this apprehension on the part of the farmer that they may not be able to use their seeds because breeders' rights.
I must be very plain and frank. So for seeds, the hybrid seeds or different varieties of seeds, what we required is, there is so much advance in that area. We must encourage that. There is no question of any discouraging so far as the new variety of seeds, the plant protection method, all these things are a must. But there should not be any scope for exploitation. That's all. Apart from that, some multinational companies started now producing the new varieties of seeds and try to exploit the farmers. That should be curbed down.